2 weeks before the attack, just days before Kabul fell to the Taliban, we were in touch with a senior ISIS-K commander who said the group was lying low and waiting for its moment to strike. Words that turned out to be eerily prophetic. So this commander has said that he'll do an interview with us at a hotel here in Kabul, and he says it's no problem for him to get through checkpoints and come right into the capital. To prove his point, he let us film his arrival into the city. Abdul Munir, as he asked to be called, is an ISIS-K commander from Kunar, the heart of the terrorist group's operations. He agreed to talk on the condition that we disguise his identity. In a Kabul hotel, he told us he's had up to 600 men under his command, among them Indians, Pakistanis, and Central Asians. Like many of his foot soldiers, he used to fight with the Taliban, but says they've fallen under the influence of foreign powers.
We were operating in Taliban's ranks. However, these people were not aligned with us in terms of belief, so we went to ISIS.
Do you think they're not strict enough with their implementation of Sharia?
You see, they can't present one example where they have enforced fixed Islamic law punishments, where they have cut off a thief's hand, have stoned to death an adulterer, have stoned to death a murderer. They cannot enforce fixed Islamic law punishments because they are under other people's control, and they implement their plans. So we do not want to implement someone else's plans, and we only want to enforce Sharia. If anyone gets along with us on this, he is our brother. Otherwise, we declare war with him, whether he is Talib or anyone else.
So have you carried out public executions, suicide bombings, things of this nature?
Yes, I have too many memories where I was present myself at these scenes. One memory is that the Pakistani Taliban had come to the Nazia district, and during the fighting we captured 5 people. Our fighters became overexcited and we struck them with axes.
It's that chilling brutality that made ISIS-K a primary target for U.S. forces. In recent years, airstrikes and special forces operations have ruthlessly targeted the group in Kunar and Nangarhar. Has your group engaged in any fighting with U.S. special forces?
Yes, we have faced them on many occasions. We had close combat with them too. They used to land in Achin. In Kunar, they carried out airstrikes. We have faced them a lot in firefights.
Are you interested ultimately in carrying out international attacks?
This point is higher than my level. I can only give you information about Afghanistan.
With U.S. forces out of the country and the Taliban potentially in control, do you think that will make it easier for you to expand?
Yes, this exists in our plan. Instead of currently operating, we have turned to recruiting only, to utilize the opportunity and to do our recruitment. But when the foreigners and people of the world leave Afghanistan, we can restart our operations.
That moment has now come, as the world saw all too clearly on Thursday. A brutal attack on an already battered country, and a threat that is not going away as U.S. forces complete their withdrawal.
Clarissa, I mean, considering his main issue with the Taliban seems to be they're not strict enough in what they call their interpretation of Sharia law, why did a commander of ISIS-K agree to sit down and speak with a woman?
Well, I think, first of all, Anderson, it's important for our viewers to understand that there's always a lot of hypocrisy with these jihadist groups. I've experienced it many times before. What they say and what they do are very different. The irony here is that this commander's group, this ISIS-K branch, actually released a propaganda video today in which it was specifically chastising the Taliban for doing interviews with women and for having conversations with women. And yet, as you saw, he was willing to meet with me privately in a room. There were very few of us in that room. I was not completely covered because it was a secure location in Kabul, and this was before the fall of the city. I think it's fair to say that he agreed to meet with us because he had a very specific message that he wanted delivered. At the time, I don't think we quite understood the gravity of that message and the seriousness of it. But given what we now know about how closely U.S. intelligence has been tracking that threat, it's clear that the ISIS-K danger is very real. And we saw that yesterday in such an ugly and brutal fashion. And the fear now becomes, are we going to see more of it? Terror analysts say, Anderson, you know, he wouldn't be drawn on the subject of transnational attacks. They say, you know, we're 5 years away from potentially having to worry about a group like ISIS-K carrying out some kind of an international attack. But the threat for the people in Afghanistan remains, and the question of whether the Taliban can counter these groups or whether Afghanistan becomes a safe haven for terrorists again, these are all very pressing questions that are now rising again to the fore, Anderson.
Has ISIS-K really been able to hold territory at any point so far?
I mean, we know that they have a base in the Korangal Valley in Kunar province. Kunar and Nangarhar are their kind of strongholds. But up until now, they basically have been lying pretty low, and their focus is less on holding territory and governing, and it's more on staging these incredibly bloody, gruesome attacks that send a very strong message, that frighten people. And now their primary focus, Anderson, is on undermining the Taliban at every single chance they have. They know that the Taliban's main calling card or its main source of popularity with certain swaths of the population is the fact that it can provide some degree of law and order, where we haven't really seen that in a coherent way over the past couple of decades. So what they want to do now is show that the Taliban can't provide law and order, and we can continue to create chaotic situations with these splashy, hideous attacks in cities like Kabul. We've seen them in cities like Jalalabad, and no sense now, Anderson, that they are going away anytime soon.
Yeah, Clarissa Ward, appreciate it. Thanks. Incredible reporting.